Hey, day one! I'm so excited. This is going to be a true boot camp in the sense of the term, where it's going to be encouraging and motivating and inspiring you to get to be the person that you truly want to be, the mom that you want to be, the entrepreneur, the business person that you want to be, whoever it is. Everyone's a little bit different and we all have our different goals, but I do believe that if you're in here, it's because you're an introvert, you're a people pleaser, you struggle with burnout because of those things, and you're trying to juggle so many balls in your life and you keep dropping them. If you're anything like me, and you start to feel a bit like a failure, like, why can't I do this? Like, I'm supposed to, like, I'm born to be a mom, or I'm supposed to like love this career that I do, but I don't love it anymore. Things like, and it can really make you feel kind of sucky about yourself and your self-worth. And then you start to wonder, like, how do other people do this? I just suck. And it really starts to play a toll on the rest of your life, in the way you talk to yourself, your kids, your husband, the way you perform at work, all of that. So that is why I'm here. That's my mission, to help you become the person that you truly want to be. And because that's not a perfect person. The goal is not to be perfect, to never drop the ball. That's not the end result we're looking for here. The end result we're looking for is for you to have the tools and the energy to go after the things that you want to do, because I believe when you feel like when you have like the self-esteem and the self-worth and the value that in what you're doing is important, whether it's being a stay-at-home mom or working, whatever it looks like for you, you have value to give to the world. And if you can't fully be yourself and step into who that person is, then you're not going to have that impact on the world that you're looking for, whatever it is. We're all different and have different things. So I can't tell you exactly, like, you need to do this, because everybody's specific goals and end result is going to be different. But I can tell you what's worked for me. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I have always been an introvert. I needed a lot of downtime and rest to recover. I have always been a people pleaser. Whatever has happened in my life, like, to make me be that way, it is what it is. But I want to make sure everybody's happy. I'm also a type 9 on the Enneagram, if you're into that. So I need everybody around me to be happy and at peace before I can be happy and at peace. And sometimes that means getting a little begrudgingly, like, helpful to people, but then really resenting it. And like, why do I have to do this for them? Like, it's a whole thing. You understand me. Even though I love people, I still need a lot of recovery and downtime. Sorry, the light, it's like cloudy outside, so the lighting's gonna get really weird. And it got to a point where I got so burnt out that my body just shut down. My stress levels were so high from feeling like a failure every day for not being able to keep on top of, like, my wifely duties, my motherhood duties, and working, and then having zero time for myself. I just basically crashed and burned. I woke up one day and I couldn't move my neck. I had no movement. I had cold sores that just wouldn't go away. I was sick. You could hear it. I had zero energy. I completely my body was like, enough's enough. So I went to a naturopath and I said, like, what is going on? Why do I feel this way? And she said, yes, my stress levels were too high. My cortisol was too high. And my body didn't know how to turn it off. Sorry, excuse me. My body didn't know how to shut off from that fight or flight mode. So in your body, your nervous system, your brain, your nerves, has two systems. We have the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The first one, the sympathetic nervous system, is your fight or flight stress response. It's when you can, like, feel the hairs on the back of your neck and you just suddenly, like, your body kicks in the adrenaline and the cortisol, or it's like go mode, stress mode, whatever it is for you. And that is that, like, your cortisol rises, adrenaline gets you ready to run if you have to. That is a good thing for a short amount of time. Our body is not designed to live in that chronically, which I believe that I had been living in that state chronically for probably about 15 years. Your parasympathetic nervous system is that calm, rest, digest, recovery mode. And that's where we want to live. That's where our body actually thrives. And so I had to learn how to switch off from this fight or flight chronic stress mode to true relaxing and recovery mode. Sorry, I don't know what my throat's doing. And I had to learn how to do that for my body to heal and to get better. And then learn how to break the cycle so I didn't get into that burnout mode again. And burnout can look like all sorts of things. Just like not having energy to take care of yourself anymore. Headaches, muscle tension. I'm a massage therapist, so I see a lot of moms coming in, especially moms who work, but stay-at-home moms too. Being a stay-at-home mom is very stressful because you don't get that like break from your kids at all, or rarely. But they come in and they just have like tension here, and they get the headaches that wrap around their head or around their ears. Sound familiar? So for this week, I want to walk through how to break this burnout cycle so you don't have to feel like a failure at everything that you're doing. You don't have to wonder like, why can't I succeed in my business? Why am I failing at motherhood? Why am I always yelling at my kids? Why can't I connect with my husband anymore? You really just start to feel like you suck at everything because you've spread yourself so thin because you're trying to keep everybody else happy. And this isn't about like making more time for self-care, because I actually don't believe that more alone time or more like self-care time is going to solve the problem. That's kind of where I'm different from most people. Though that is necessary for recovery, but it's not going to break the cycle. It's not going to actually get you out of burnout. It's just a rest. It's just a break, but it's not going to get you out of burnout. The things that we're going through this week are the start of what is actually going to start the journey for you for getting out of burnout. And it is a journey. It takes time. I'm also going to be introducing you guys to some products that I use that really helped me in my healing journey. These are affiliate links for things that I have vetted because I have used them myself and they work. There's a lot of crap out there that does not work, and I don't want you to waste your time and money on that because who's got the time? So this is stuff that I personally use that keep me feeling like myself. They keep me feeling like the best possible version of myself that I have to offer my family. And I want you to feel that way. I don't want you to feel anymore like you're in survival mode, like you're just barely able to get through the day and then not feel like there's enough time in the day to do everything or to take care of yourself. And you're just, I know what that feels like. This was me actually last year. I had just had a newborn baby, and he wasn't gaining weight fast enough. He wasn't quite like failure to thrive, but very, very, very close. So I was in between like having my first year of homeschooling, potty training, a newborn baby that wasn't gaining enough weight. So I had to pump and bottle feed at the same time. Like the house was a mess. I just felt like I was failing at the one thing that I was supposed to do, like as a mom. Take care of my kids and raise a newborn baby, and we weren't sleeping, and it was just a very, very, very emotionally and physically difficult year. And that is when I was in survival mode. And I understand that sometimes when you have young kids, that's all you can do is just get through the day, make sure everybody's alive, and you're good, right? We want to be able to step a bit beyond that, out of survival mode, out of just like making sure everybody else is alive and okay, and into feeling like you have something to offer. What's that, Julia? Okay, go ahead. Just close the door, okay? Because I'm on a video. Thank you. Real life, guys. Working at home with kids. This is real. So, all that to say, today's task is not really like a to-do list or a task. Close the door, please. Thank you. It is a thing I want you to go forward with for the rest of your life. For me, this really changed things. It's changed the whole way I viewed the world and my reactions and my response to the world. And I really believe that this could be life-changing going forward. So if you watch like no other video this week, I hope this is the video that you watch. So today I want you to think about the stories that you tell yourself. when you're about to lose it on somebody, when you're about to snap, when you feel bad about yourself or what you're doing, if you feel like you're failing at something, stop and think, what is the story I'm telling myself about this situation? The best example I've heard that I'm going to tell you to help make this click. A friend of mine said that her husband, like, it was time for them to buy a new car, a new family car. And so her husband was so excited to go out and buy a new family car. He went to the dealership, brought home a hatchback. He was so excited for the adventures they were going to have in this car and like bring their family closer together. But they have 3 kids. And they all got in the car and they were going to go, I think, to the movies. And it was really squishy in the car. Like, there wasn't a lot of room. And so everyone was kind of like uncomfortable and complaining. And their daughter piped up and said, like, Dad, you got the wrong car. This one's too small. And the dad just turned around and said something like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Don't say things like that. Like, just snapped at her. And my friend kind of looked at her husband like, that was super uncharacteristic of him. Like, what just happened? And so later on, after they put the kids to bed, she said, what is this story that you're telling yourself about this situation in this car that made you like snap at our daughter like that? And he had to think about it. And then he realized that in that moment, he had reverted back to a like defensive mode, because growing up, his dad had always questioned his decisions and his choices, and had like anything that he wanted to show his dad or a choice that he was making, his dad would be like, well, why did you do that? Like, that was the wrong choice. That was a stupid mistake, or that was like a stupid decision. Why did you do that? And in that moment when his daughter had said, like, you bought the wrong car, Dad, just, you know, being a kid, he said to her, like, his wife, my friend, I can't believe that in that moment I heard my dad's voice come out of my daughter's mouth. And that was what had caused that snap reaction. The story he had told himself was that his dad would disapprove of his choice. And so he had to learn how to let go of that, of his dad's disapproving like comments about the choices that he makes, and just be confident in his own choices and not always be thinking about what other people are going to think of his choices. And that to me is that's so true. Like, especially as people pleasers, why do we do that? But it's often just a quick snap reaction of, well, like, my mom is going to say this, or I know this person's going to think that, so I have to make a choice based on the decision that is going to please the most people, or that is going to give me the affirmation from the most people, even if it's not truly what we want. Right? It's about like, how are we going to make that other person happy by our choices? And then you're not living your life. You're not living in a way that's making you happy. You're always living under this pressure, this burden of what's going to get the most validation from other people. If your house is messy, you know, like you've been gone all day or something, and you get back and your house is messy and someone comes over, and suddenly you're thinking like, the story you're telling yourself is, oh, that person's going to think I'm so lazy, or not a good mom, or like I can't keep my house clean, right? Like, what is the story that you're telling yourself about any situation? So I want you to go forward with this week with that question in your mind. Anytime you feel that, like, oh, that anger rising, or like the pressure, and you're starting to feel really agitated about all the things that you have to do, what is the story that you're telling yourself about this situation? The more you practice it, the easier it gets, the faster it comes, and the more you don't even have to think about it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this, or you need any clarity on maybe a specific situation. I'd love to encourage you guys as we go throughout this week and see, like, I really am excited to hear the stories going forward of like, oh, I had this thought, this is the story that I was telling myself, and I chose to go forward like this with clarity. I'd love to hear that. So in order to keep this video short, I'm going to end it here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.